They can try and use it against people like me. It ain't going to work. The truth will win out. They have built a case against Trump, against his campaign, against the transition, against his presidency, against his policies, trying to smear him over and over. I'm talking to somebody who supported Ted Cruz in the Republican primaries, but of course supported Trump come September to defeat Hillary Clinton, like millions and millions of the rest of you. But this has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm speaking as an American disgusted with the fraudulent media in this country that took the ball the Democrats threw to them and ran with it, and still run with it. So the question is really quite simple. Did the prior administration, in fact, use police tactics, as has been reported by the media, or did the media lie over and over and over again in the aggregate to try and tie Trump to the Russians? Now, which is it? Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we never got the truth from the media, did we? No, we didn't. We never got the truth from the media. The self-serving leftist media humiliated itself. And I'm going to rub their faces in the Cheetos, and I'm going to keep rubbing their faces in the Cheetos. Eli Lake over at Bloomberg.com always writes very intelligently, whether you agree with him 100% or not. He writes this, hot off the presses. Monday will be a moment of truth for the assortment of President Donald Trump's critics, who like to call themselves the resistance. FBI Director James Comey and National Security Agency head Admiral Mike Rogers are scheduled to testify before the House Intelligence Committee on Russia's influence of the 2016 election. Let's hope we get some much-needed answers on what the government knows about Trump's associates and their ties to the Russian government. Because since the summer, Democrats and their allies in the press have pushed the theory that the Russian state has undue influence over Trump and that his campaign may have colluded with Moscow to hack the election. It's a grave charge. In fact, he says, if true, the president should be impeached. That's what Eli says. But let's move on. Trump won the election, but the allegations about the Russia connection have hobbled his young presidency. General Michael Flynn, Trump's first national security advisor, is gone. Jeff Sessions, his attorney general, has had to recuse himself from all Trump-related investigations. There are now multiple probes in Congress. On top of this, Trump's Russia policy for now hardly looks like a quid to any hardly looks like a quote to any Russia quid. Cabinet members say the U.S. has no plans for lifting sanctions imposed on Moscow for its invasion of Ukraine. The Justice Department has just brought charges for the first time against Russian operatives for hacking Yahoo email accounts. Trump next month will meet with China's head of state. No such meeting has been scheduled yet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Russians now publicly worry that the political environment in Washington has scuttled Trump's efforts to reset the relationship with the Kremlin. Not bad for the Democrats, considering there is no evidence yet to support the central allegation against Trump, that he's either compromised by or collaborated with Russia, which is a core message the media have been pushing for months. 4 months. But it would be a mistake to conclude that all of this is good for the Republic, or for that matter, those resisting the Trump presidency. There are two reasons for this. First, there's a problem of overreach. If Comey and Rogers on Monday confirm what President Barack Obama's last director of national intelligence, James Clapper, told NBC News earlier this month, that there's no evidence of collusion between Trump associates and Russia, then the resistance loses credibility to go after Trump's abuses of power down the road. The resistance, I would argue, including the media. The media is going to look worse than it normally does. Either way, by the way. Either now covering up police state tactics or claiming police state tactics, but now having overreached, trying to reverse course. They're trying to reverse course. I won't let them, but they're trying to reverse course. Eli Lake goes on. But the bigger problem is the risk of normalization. To use the language of Trump's opposition, leaking the names of individuals currently being investigated by the FBI and the intelligence community is not unprecedented, but it's always dangerous. It's unfair to the targets of the probe, whose reputations are tarnished before the government brings a case in court against them, if it ever does. Also, counterintelligence investigations can change dramatically as new information comes in. The target today may not be the target when it's wrapped up. The risk of normalization is particularly acute when it comes to selectively disclosing details of conversations monitored by U.S. intelligence agencies, such as the leaks that forced Flynn to resign last month. Such leaks violate the public's trust in government eavesdroppers to not abuse their power to advance a political agenda. This is why there are strict laws prohibiting the public disclosure of wiretap information. It's why the intelligence community's supposed to take great pains not to distribute the names of American citizens who are caught up in surveillance of foreign targets widely within the government. It's why the House Intelligence Committee is now investigating how many times the identities of American citizens were unmasked in intelligence reports in the last 6 months of the Obama administration. And it goes on. This is very, very serious. The media can obsess over Trump's tweet. They can try and use it against people like me. It ain't going to work. The truth will win out. They have built a case against Trump, against his campaign, against the transition, against his presidency, against his policies, trying to smear him over and over. I'm talking to somebody who supported Ted Cruz in the Republican primaries, but of course supported Trump come September to defeat Hillary Clinton, like millions and millions of the rest of you.